Okay folks, today's short video I want to describe something that happened with my pellet stove, and I think a lot of you have experienced this, probably especially with this design, these hammers. So the thing about pellet stoves is often they quit in the middle of the night. I think that's happened probably 2 or 3, 4 times. One time, or actually many times, it was from what was called a log jam, which is when the pellets are really long, they kind of get in a certain configuration where it blocks the hopper from feeding pellets. And that happens quite a bit when you have long pellets. Now I'm getting these lignetics now. The place right down the street has them, so I'm starting to get those again. I've been buying cheap O'Malley pellets, which have a shit ton of dust. Hammers, lots of dust. Anyway, so this year I got lignetics. So last night the stove went out and wasn't feeding pellets. I reached down in the hopper and I couldn't get it to feed pellets. Now it's been doing this banging thing. It'll turn and it banged, and I always thought that was clinkers in the burn pot. But it turns out it was wrong. What happened is, at the bottom of your stove, so in the pellet hopper, underneath at the bottom, there'll be a little trap door that goes back and forth. And what happened is dust and stuff built up on this side and underneath there, and the banging was because the trap door would stop and it couldn't push any further. And then the auger would turn, or the motor would turn, and then it would finally release because it'd be under tension, and then it would finally release, bang! It's because that trap door wasn't going. So I cleaned that out, and that wasn't really the total problem. The complete problem was I had to take that trap door out, and underneath there, it's like more than a 90-degree bend. So it's in here, up in here. I had to clean that out with my finger, get a vacuum in there, but there was also dust and stuff built up underneath there, so I had to get a coat hanger in there, my boroscope, and reach in there and scrape underneath there to make it so the pellets would feed correctly down in there and it wouldn't get blocked. That banging noise that I was hearing was when the pellets wouldn't feed properly. They were getting built up in that area under there, and that trapdoor was trying to push against those pellets, but there's a lot of tension. And then as the auger motor spun, the trapdoor would be stuck, so it'd be under tension, and then it would suddenly release. So it wasn't actually feeding pellets. The pellets weren't actually able to go down into where the auger is and get fed out into the burn pot. But I just wanted to say that. So if your stove has that issue, you may want to do this. Now this stove is probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old, and I've never cleaned that underneath there. So just be careful, or just be cognizant that can happen. And like I said, I used a coat hanger to get up under there, and my boroscope.